I would say this. I think we're some really big risk takers. I think that's one of our muscles.
Yeah.
And we took a risk and sold our home care in 2019. And when we sold that was our greatest revenue generating business at the time. And we were left with 2 adult days and 1 personal care home. And when we, I think that's kind of when we got into real estate too. And then we bought this property in Albany, and then the pandemic hit. Didn't know that was coming.
Yeah.
And we had a brand new 24-bed facility, and people were lined up to come before the pandemic.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
after that, nobody came. So like, how are we going to pay this mortgage? How are we going to survive? And I don't know if a lot of people know, but the pandemic in Georgia started in Albany. And it took Albany by storm. And so all the hospital were full. The nursing homes were full, and we're not taking people back if they had been diagnosed with COVID. So we made a decision to turn that 24 brand new facility into a refuge for people recovering from COVID-19. And that is how we survived during the pandemic. Things that I think something that people was running from, we had to run to and embrace it. And
it shows in your name of innovative. Like, what are we going to do now? This huge challenge, obstacles before us, and you adapted well to be able to survive that.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Americus Podcast, where we pursue what it means to become a next level neighbor, creating a place we enjoy with the people we love. I'm your host, John Schroeder, and today I am with Jessica Wright and Eshonda Blue. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. So I heard that you guys are becoming experts at podcasting now at this point. You've done a little bit more, probably 4 or 5 podcasts, correct?
We've done a few.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, listen, it needs to get out there. Your story needs to get out there, but also what you're doing in this community and other communities need to get out there. So we want to continue to push that. So glad we can be a part of that journey with you all as well. So what actually fills up right now, 2024? I can't believe it's a real year, right? I've always watched these in movies. So what fills up your calendar in 2024 right now?
Oh, wow. What fills up our calendar? Well, several things fills my calendar. One is I have triplet girls that are turning 9 this month. Keeps the calendar full. And then our business, Innovative Senior Solutions, of course, keeps the calendar full. We just franchised our adult day center. And so we actually—
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so we're actually launching— doing an official launch for the first time in July.
Okay.
And then we're going to start going on a marketing campaign for the rest of the year.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's a lot.
So,
what about you, Jessica?
So I am the best auntie. So my calendar stay full with their calendar as well.
Love it.
But it's all innovative this year. We want to finish the year strong. We're at midway point already.
Yeah.
And so we got a lot of things we want to accomplish. And so we're going strong at it.
That's great. Yeah. So Innovative Senior Solutions, we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But if you wouldn't mind, just kind of define your roles within that and what does that all entail?
Start with me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I am co-owner and I am the CEO. And, CEO to me it means Chief Executive Officer, but we had the challenge of our business careers, I would say, last year. Back in February, we had this audacious idea to acquire 3 centers at one time.
Okay.
And we did it. And we didn't really know what was on the other side of that. We really didn't have the bandwidth to do it, but I thank God that we weathered the storm. But what I learned so much was about people. Like, we're nothing without people. And so I changed my title to Chief. I changed it to Culture executive officer.
Nice.
It was so hard. It was so important for us to instill culture in these communities that we had never been in. And it was our lifeline. The people was our lifeline. So yeah, I don't care about executive officer. I need to have people, good people, and they need to have our culture. So
I love that. That's great. What about you, Jessica?
So I'm Jessica Wright. I'm COO, and so I deal with the day-to-day operations. In the centers, I work closely with the nurses, the caregivers, and I make sure everything, runs smoothly, go as we desire, making sure that each and every day we're improving the lives of seniors and those with disabilities. And so
I love that.
That's what I do.
I love that. And I really do. I mean, there's so many professions where it's not just about the money. It can't be. It's about the care for people. So there's something in you that's unique, that's special, that says, I'm willing to give of myself for the betterment of other people. And so I would love to kind of tap into that just a little bit, maybe even your life stories about where does that come from? And so tell me a little bit about your life growing up, and tell me a little bit about what helps define you? Like, how would you define yourself? And what are some inspirations, maybe a person or a particular situation that's taking place that helped groom this person that's before me today? So
of course we're sisters. And so we really didn't realize it when we walked into entrepreneurship and was like, well, how did we get here? But when we look back at our family history, our father is an entrepreneur. Our older sister is an entrepreneur. Our grandfather is an entrepreneur, was an entrepreneur. Our great-grandfather was an entrepreneur. So it was just in our DNA. And we didn't know that because that was not really focused on when my dad worked. I mean, it was work. It wasn't all glamorous and how it looks today and how many entrepreneurs make it look and feel today. It was hard work, right? And it was like, I don't want to do that. I know that takes a lot. But it was really instilled in us. It was in our DNA to be leaders and to be forerunners and change agents in our community. And so
and now you guys said you were born in Cobb County, is what you said?
Georgia.
In Georgia. Okay.
Cobb, Georgia. So
Cobb, Georgia.
People
Sorry.
get that mixed up.
No,
Cobb County's Atlanta.
That's right.
Cobb, Georgia's Lake Blackshear, Sumter County.
Okay. And so what was he doing? What was his career? What was he working on?
He was a carpenter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love it.
Carpenter. Our grandparents were farmers. And so that's what we always was around. And when Eshonda and I we were growing up, he had us working. He instilled in us a work ethic that I don't know. It's kind of hard to turn off. I mean, we want to make sure we do it. We do it in excellence, and that's just how we were brought up.
I love it. You got anything to add to that, Eshonda?
I think we came up in a time where the village. It was a village. If I think about it, I'm trying not to cry. I just know my mom. My mom was the legendary Coach Evelyn Wright. Like everybody knows her around here. And she took us everywhere she went. And she was often very, very busy because she was coaching. But there was always a village around her. Like I don't even know if she knew it was there, but it was there. And the teachers, like, I just can't, it's like everybody we met treated us like their own. Yeah, like their own. It's crazy. I don't know how to explain it, but I could never go anywhere. And if I was doing something wrong, they were going to tell me. Yeah. And they were going to tell mom. But they handled it too. But it was in love, right? Yeah. And it was just at a time where I just feel like we're just a product of our community because so many people put their hands on us. Yeah. I'm always interested on kind of what those ingredients, what those values are that made that so unique for you to be able to feel that close knit. I mean, there are obviously pockets still today, but like what are the ingredients that make a community that good? Oh my gosh. I like to tell this story about my mom when she was coaching, and she couldn't pick us up. She couldn't pick me up because I'm the oldest, and so I'm like 8 years older than Jessica, and we have a younger brother, and Jessica's 8 years older than him.
Okay,
but she couldn't pick me up from practice, so I would go home with another teacher in her family, and it was a white family, but I ate dinner with them. I played with the kids. Like I felt like I was a part of her family, and that did so much for me as a person, because I think I never saw color after that. Yeah. So I think that was important. That was a very important piece for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Wow.
I don't know if you would add to that, but
I don't know if I have anything to add.
Yeah.
The community has been everything, even from our upbringing until starting our business community. Just getting and embracing us and pushing us forward and opening doors and, you know, just giving us everything.
And it's great because once you experienced that and you knew that was not just that it was good, but that it was exponential for you, that you wanted to share, that you wanted to make sure other people. So I knew that probably as you're growing up and you're starting to see things break down, even when it comes to things like senior solutions, right? Innovative senior solutions, you're like, wait a minute, why isn't everyone experiencing this? Because it's that good. And so you're wanting to share that. And I think that takes another level though, too. That's probably where your leadership entrepreneurship comes in, because it's one thing to be able to say, oh, I wish that existed. And there's something else that says, so I need to build it because it's not here, right? So there's one thing to care. And then there's another level that says, I care so much and I feel I've been gifted so much, I have to do something with that. So who inspired you to not just know that it exists, but actually care enough to push forward and to make something brand new?
Oh, goodness. What would you say to that?
Our grandmother.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, she is the reason why we have Innovative today, right? When taking care of our grandmother, she told us, she said, I never want to go to a nursing home. And so in telling us that, she became our first client. We actually was the first in-home care provider here in Sumter County.
Yeah, wow.
And so to be able to bring a service that hit home for us, and we knew that it would hit home for every individual, every family, and we wanted to make sure that they had a choice in how they would be taken care of. And so our grandmother, she showed us that in taking care of us as we grew up, how to care and to nurture and to love and to serve others. And so in her showing us that, we were able to give her that and so much more.
Yeah. Yeah. So you talked about also your father, entrepreneur, grandparents, entrepreneurs. So when you're going through high school, college, and you get to that place where, what am I going to do with my career? What does that look like? Did you always know, okay, I know I want to start something? Or did someone else inspire you and say, hey, I think you guys can do something. I think you need to build something.
That's a whole story in itself. Like, I think I was 29.
Okay.
When we started our business. Now Jessica was 21.
Okay.
So do
you guys just get together one day and go, "Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Let's do this."
Crazy. Like, I don't even remember Jessica growing up, so I don't know how we connected on that. I love to tell that story, but anyway. Yeah. Like it was really a necessity. It was a need. We were both registered nurses.
Okay.
Our backgrounds was working in nursing homes. Like that's all I've ever done is take care of seniors. And then when our grandmother said, hey, I don't want to go to a nursing home, and she couldn't stay home alone. Like that's what birthed our company. It was from a need. It was that we didn't want her. We wanted her to be able to stay home with all her memories, her dignity, her privacy, and more importantly, her choice.
Yeah,
and at the time, there were no home care agencies in Americus, and so that's how we started our company.
Awesome. And one of the things I love too is I talk about this because the podcast is called the Americus Podcast. And, you know, we celebrate things that happen in Sumter County as well. But just the idea of you being able to take this business model and also just reinvest into this community. I feel like I've come in 2 years in now, and I feel like there's a wave that's here where people are getting more excited about new things. They want to see something. And so I said all the time, I feel like people that have been praying for 20, 30 years for something like this in Americus, like I feel like I'm lucky to come on this end of it. And so continuing to pray for things like that. But what caused you guys to just make sure that there's investment here in this community when you could have potentially gone somewhere else?
I think we got to share how we had the idea to start our business, and we didn't know what to do. We just had an idea, and somebody told us that Gaynor Chokas, I don't know if you know Gaynor, but she's a professor, doctor now at GSW.
Wow.
And I think at the time she ran a business called The Talk Shop, but they told us that she helped people write business plans.
Yeah.
And so we got in contact with Gaynor. She helped us write our business plan. She said, listen, you guys got a really good idea. She liked the fact that when she gave us an assignment, we would do it. And she said, I want you to meet Wally Summers.
Okay.
Wally was the VP of Economic Development at South Georgia Tech. And at the time, that's the local technical college. And at the time, they were experimenting with a business incubator.
Okay.
We were one of the first people to go into this business incubator. So she handed us off to Wally. Wally wanted to make sure that we met everybody we needed to meet. And I mean, he was the type of mentor. He didn't say, go meet so-and-so and so. We would get off from work because we worked our jobs while we started the business, and we did both at the same time. When we get off, we would come to our the incubator. He'll have these people sitting in his office to meet us.
Love
and
it.
He wanted us to meet the chamber president. He wanted us to meet, I know we met Miss Sarah Walls. She had a program for funding. It was just so many people he wanted to make sure that we got connected to. Like, we had that kind of start.
Yeah. That's a beautiful start.
Yeah.
And I think even with entrepreneurs now, especially a place like Americus, you know, we talk about having small businesses that we want to see grow, right? That's great. But a small business can't operate like a large business, which means the funding's not always there. And so even like a place with downtown, there are buildings that are here that are great, but they need renovation. They need to be up to code. And so you're talking about money on money on money. But if you're finding people that help network you and take care of you and provide for you and say, hey, we are like a village to see you succeed. If we have more of that in our community of, hey, I hear you got a great idea. Let me try to get you with the right people. That's got to be, like you said, it's got to be key to entrepreneurs winning and being successful in any community, but even a place like Sumter County. So,
Yes.
So we need more of that as well. And I know that, you know, as you guys continue to grow and people are coming to you, that I know you guys are networking and making sure that other people kind of have that same start, because I know that's impacted you in a huge way. So tell me a little bit about Innovative Senior Solutions. We want to kind of step into that a little bit. What services you provide inside out? Just a really quick brief, because I know people have heard about you. So tell me a little bit about the organization.
So Innovative Senior Solutions, currently we operate 5 locations, adult day centers.
Okay.
Where individuals, seniors, and those with disabilities come for the day. So it's exactly like daycare. It is a healthcare facility. We do have a nurse there, and we do have caregivers there that can help them with their needs. So we do adult day transportation for our individuals coming to and from our locations.
Okay.
We also have a 24-bed personal care home that we own and operate in Albany, Georgia.
Okay.
As well. And so that is currently what we do. I know a lot of people know us for doing in-home care.
Okay.
But in 2019, we sold that portion of our business.
Okay.
And we started actually, we started coaching and consulting in 2019. Again, giving back. We wanted to help other individuals that could not, that did not know how to start or had the roadblocks of starting and getting funding. And so we started coaching and consulting and helping individuals start their own personal care home business.
Wow. That's awesome. So one of the questions that I asked you guys even before the podcast was this idea of at what point, and I'm pretty sure, I mean, you've been doing this over 13, 15 years now? 17. So give me some instances, maybe at the beginning, somewhere where it just felt like, I don't know if this is going to work. And you thought about maybe doing something else, or did it ever get to that place? What kind of obstacles have you faced?
I think the story, you
How many
story.
Obstacles?
Yeah.
You're like every quarter.
Like what story?
Every quarter, right?
Every
And you have
quarter.
goals.
Like every 5 years, that goes down. I would say this. I think we're some really big risk takers. I think that's one of our muscles. And we took a risk and sold our home care in 2019. And when we sold that was our greatest revenue generating business at the time. And we were left with 2 adult days and 1 personal care home. And when we, I think that's kind of when we got into real estate too. And then we bought this property in Albany, and then the pandemic hit. Didn't know that was coming. And we had a brand new 24-bed facility, and people were lined up to come before the pandemic. But after that, nobody came. So like, how are we going to pay this mortgage? How are we going to survive? And I don't know if a lot of people know, but the pandemic in Georgia started in Albany, and it took Albany by storm. And so all the hospital was full. The nursing homes were full, and we're not taking people back if they had been diagnosed with COVID. So we made a decision to turn that 24 brand new facility into a refuge for people recovering from COVID-19. And that is how we survived during the pandemic. Things that I think something that people was running from, we had to run to and embrace it. And
it shows in your name of innovative. Like, what are we going to do now? This huge challenge, obstacles before us, and you adapted well to be able to survive that.
It's listening to our community. That's why we started the refuge. We heard our community. Like she said, the hospitals full, nursing homes not taking individuals back who had COVID. We saw a lot of loved ones that were taking care of their loved ones, and they got COVID, could not take care of them. And it was like, well, what can we do? How can we be a help? How can we support our community?
I love that. I mean, that's a story, like you said, in and of itself. I could just see your brain going like, well, you could write a book about how during that particular challenge and obstacle that you made the changes to provide for people, because that's what you do. And you found a way to be able to do that and still be who you are. I think that's amazing. Because the reason why I ask questions like that is because I think so many of us, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're just kind of going through your day, we're going to run into obstacles, and we've got to figure out some values. We got to figure out at the end of the day, what's going to motivate us to get us past that. I mean, we're living in a very difficult time. There's so many more opportunities to be connected, but people are not connected. It's getting worse a lot of times. The mental health of people are growing exponentially. And so how do we provide for people? How do we care for people? How do we let them know how much they're valued? And you were providing that. You were making that opportunity for people. So thank you so much for doing that, for being risk takers. I think that is a value of an entrepreneur, but also a value of a person that's a neighbor. You got to take risks, right? To go to someone's house, to go meet a new neighbor, to meet a stranger on the street, try to help them and be a next level neighbor. You got to be able to take risks. If you're not taking risks, you'll never be able to do it. And this as leaders is you always have to be the first to do it. no one else either knows that it's supposed to happen or they don't know what's going to happen. And you're willing to say, hey, I'm willing to put my chips in. And it may not be the right one, but somebody has to do it. And so thank you so much for doing that and providing that as an opportunity. And like you said, it's obviously provided for you, sustaining, and now this new thing. So you went from 2 to 3 to 5, right? You said last year you got that 5. Mm-hmm. What was that challenge like?
Oh my gosh. So we had our strategic planning meeting last year in January, and we decided that because we've done so many different things in senior care, we've done home care, adult day, we have assisted living or personal care homes. We even do transportation. And it was like, we need to make something our chicken sandwich. Like I was reading this book about Chick-fil-A and so we decide, because, a lot of people think it's the nuggets, but it's really the chicken sandwich.
That's right.
And so we decided to make adult day our chicken sandwich. And it was a lot of other stuff. Like we managed personal care homes that are 6 beds or less. It was like 28 of those we were managing. That was nice revenue. Mm-hmm. But we made a decision. This is the chicken sandwich. We want to do adult day. We want to be this is what we can be the best in. Yes. This is what we want to do. And we cut off like 4 or 5 other different business lines. Mm-hmm. Just like that.
Yep. Wow.
I don't know why we did it. Well, I know why we did it, but we didn't know the economic impact it was going to have. But we saw a bigger picture, and we're always kind of putting ourselves in that boat where we see the vision of the bigger picture. If we can just get from here to here, we'll be okay. And we did that to focus on adult day. And I tell you, last year was the most challenging year I've ever been in business, but the best, most rewarding, because we've been coming up with the best innovative approaches to adult day. Like we've improved our meals, we've improved our activities, we got more community involvement. If you look at our centers, they don't look like daycare centers, they look like home. We remodeled centers. Like it's just, we can see the fruit of our labor from making that decision. And so, but very challenging because we cut off our money essentially to make a decision to go after this one thing. Yeah. And so we're kind of building this one thing now.
Wow. And I know that, like when it comes to social media and things like that, what we normally want to post and promote are the things that are being highly successful. So we're smiling, like smile, like for me, I'm like, kids, smile. And we all smile and they're like, all right, take the picture. Now let's just go back to what we're doing. But there's got to be, like you said, those moments where obviously things are being, there's success that's taking place. But I mean, I'm sure you've gone home several times and just been like, I'm done. I'm spent. I'm exhausted. And people need to know that's a part of the process, right? It actually, without having that, you would have not given yourself the time to be able to create something newer and better, right? But that at a great cost to you as a person.
Wow. Like, I don't think people know, like, because we started, so we got centers in Valdosta, Waycross, Baxley, and then Americus in Albany. And then last year we put transportation in all those locations. Okay. And it's been challenging. And so our parents who are, please give me their age, because if I say it wrong, my dad is going to kill me.
74 and 72.
Okay, because I was on something and I said he was 78 and he looked at me like I was crazy.
That's
But
right.
anyway, they are actually in Waycross right now driving for us. And we're the kind of company that all hands are on deck. We all can do anything. If we need to work as a nurse, we'll work as a nurse. If we need to work as a caregiver, we'll work as a caregiver. If we got to drive, we'll drive. Yeah. And that's not something that we want to do long term, but
that's right.
We will do whatever it takes to make it to that next step. And so we're kind of in that phase of our business, and it's been pretty tough. It's been pretty tough.
Challenging.
Yeah.
But I think we've been in challenging situations before, and that's all about entrepreneurship, risk taking. Yeah. And that's what build you. That's what build the muscle, right? Yeah. It's not the good times. Yeah. It's not when you're selling high. It's when you're going through the valley and overcoming is what make us.
Yeah, I love that. And I heard of a guy who was basically talking about the Navy SEALs, and he was talking about how when the recruits come in, he said, you think you could look at the guys that have the stronger bodies and the stronger mindset and say like, oh, they're the guys that are going to make it, and some of these other guys won't. But it's actually the guys that when the going gets tough, they no longer think about themselves, but they think about the ones that are next to them and say, hey, I got to keep going for them.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's another key part of what it means to be a good neighbor is it's not just about me. Because if it was just about me, I would give up. I would go home. I would go find something else. But you really want to provide a service for other people that need that. And so it's causing you to say, hey, it's not time. I can't throw in the towel yet. I got to keep providing for others. And again, you're not just providing service for the seniors, you're also providing jobs and careers for other people to continue to do what they love to do, which is a very, very difficult thing to do. So, I mean, you've gone from 0 employees, right, to over 100 employees. You talk about being a kind of a cultural operating officer, right? So tell me a little bit about the culture that helps shape not just the motivation, but even the size. Like how do you get from 0 to 100?
It's definitely culture because we've been at a point where I think our turnover at one point was like 50%. And we was like, we got to change this because we're taking care of the elderly and they need stability.
Yeah.
And so that's what we started working on was culture. Like we spent a whole day teaching nothing but our why. This is why we do it. We do this because we want to prevent seniors from going to a nursing home. We want to be able to keep them in their home and community as long as possible. We're not against nursing homes. There's a need for nursing homes, but for those who can stay home, we want to make sure they can stay home safely as long as possible. Yeah. And we talk to their hearts and they get on board with us and they can think of their grandmother or their family member who could possibly be at risk for going to the nursing home. And it's like we're all together with this same mission. And it's just something beautiful to see. Yeah. But it was definitely the culture that drove us. And it's how we hire now. Like if this is not what this is not what drives you, then you can't be a part of this team. This team is about this. This is what drives us. Yeah. And so taking care of people, we ask in interviews. It started in the interview. Like, what do you love doing? What are you passionate about? And when we hear them saying they love taking care of people, I love family. Okay, we got something to work with. And we start there.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Anything to add to that, Jessica?
Oh yeah, that's it's all about passion for us. It's we tell people this is our ministry, this is our purpose, this is our calling. And so we want to make sure we have the right people, right, on our team. Yeah. And so we're big on core values. That's important to us. We want people with integrity that's going to do the right thing simply because it's the right thing to do. Yeah. We want people who are caring. We're not working with widgets. We're not working with boxes. We're working with people. We're in the people business. And so we want people who love to serve, who that's what they get joy out of doing. And so when we get that person, we got something. Yeah. And we can move it forward because it's not Eshonda and I who has taken innovative to, over 100 employees serving Southwest Georgia. It's the people that believe in what we believe in. Yeah.
Yeah. And what I love too is it seems to me, again, even as an entrepreneur, there are things that we feel like people need and we want to solve particular problems and fix things. But sometimes it's very, very difficult to try to communicate that. And so a lot of people can't buy into that. But what you guys are describing is something that, it just seems like everyone's like, yes. Yes. So I would even think with investing, even within the state's like, we want to see this win. We want to see this succeed. Right. So you've had a lot just in your leadership and your communication, what you're communicating to people are true needs, not just a little niche that's like, maybe this affects everyone. And so we want you to get on board. Cause not only do we see the vision, but but we also have the infrastructure. We have the desire. We're going to get it done, and we're going to be innovative about it. So if this is not working, we'll change it because that's what we do. And we talked a little bit about kind of before, just the idea of what the future of this looks like as well. We talked a little bit about even the culture, about celebrating more and kind of what those metrics are. So what does it look like for you now when you're thinking about strategic metrics? What is the future of this organization for you all?
So senior statistics, right?
Yeah.
So in 6 years, 2030, all of the baby boomers will have boomed. It'll be over 73 million seniors. There will be more seniors 65 and older than children 13 and under. It'll be the largest population on Earth.
Wow.
They're calling it the silver tsunami. Okay, so those are the statistics. I want to say 10 years ago, we wrote a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal. And we didn't we wrote it, and all the leadership team at the time signed it. And Jessica probably knows it by heart, but the gist of it basically said we're going to be a nationally recognized company setting standards of innovative caregiving. That was the gist of it.
Through comprehensive senior networks touching every household.
There it is.
Love it.
So we wrote that BHAG, and my God, is coming to pass.
Yeah.
And so we were able to franchise. We had different business consultants that was telling us, you don't want to franchise. Like, it's so expensive, it's hard work. And so we were looking at other ways of doing it, of growing, other than franchising. And we just end up coming back to it. And we just said, we're just going to do it the right way. We're going to invest in this. And so that's what we did. We invested in franchise and innovative senior solutions. And so it will be a nationally recognized company.
Yeah.
And
congratulations.
That's where we're going. Thank you.
That's awesome. So you're using those terms, the BHAG and stuff. Are there specific books for people that are entrepreneurs now, that whether it's a book or a particular author or someone that inspired you to say, I really love their language when it comes to leadership, that it's what I was thinking, but someone's already written? Is there anything out there that's been helpful to you? What systems do you use?
My favorite book is Good to Great.
Okay.
All-time favorite. I've read it.
That's a great book.
I think I've read it 3 times now. E-Myth is another one.
Okay.
And then Scaling Up is another one as well.
Great. Yeah. And do they have like even hiring methods, like who you're looking for, questions that you should ask, the metrics that you should be giving, the why? Where'd you get the idea of the why?
The why came from
Simon Sinek.
Yeah. I love that guy. He's great. He's great. I love the way that he describes that leadership model of, hey, let's scale well, but build interpersonal relationships instead of just hitting those markers and losing the interpersonal relationships.
Check this out. This is really cool. So was it last year? Well, we had so we met a guy that actually worked with Dan Cathy.
Okay.
He was on his leadership team for Chick-fil-A.
Awesome.
And he was introduced to us, and he was just supposed to talk to us over the phone, but he was so taken by it. He said, I want to come see. And so he traveled down to Albany to one of our centers. And he told us, he said, listen, ladies, y'all got something special. He said, don't worry about being bigger. Just keep working on being better. Yeah. And we just been doing that ever since.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. So when you say be better, what does that entail to you? What does that mean to you?
Better everything. Better centers, better activity, like the things that our seniors like. We want to make sure they're having engaging activities. And anytime you go somewhere, you want to eat good food.
Yeah.
We got to have good food, right? We got to have clean centers. We got to have engaging, loving teams. Everything has to be better, and so we keep looking at it and trying to figure out how we can make this better. Yeah. What can we do to make this even better?
I love that. I love that. And as we were talking about before is, one of the things as leaders that we find ourselves doing is, with every, whether it's a 90-day goal or a year goal, we just kind of hit that and we're like, all right, what's the next thing? And one of the things that I'm trying to get better at as a leader is well, how are we doing with celebrating what we're doing? And just reminding ourselves, hey, this is where we're at, and I'm very thankful for where we're at. We know that we're going to the next stage, and so I think that because that also gets people excited, because they don't feel like, well, if we hit this, we're still zero. We got to be heroes again. It's like every 30 days we go from hero to zero, and so learning how to celebrate, and I think that will help even replicate what you guys are doing, because people are like, oh, I'm doing something good, I want to keep doing that. Yeah, keep doing that. We're going to celebrate the mess out of it. So I'm excited to hear about the future of this. Like you said, that big audacious goal, just seeing it come to fruition, it's just like, okay, now what? I mean, that's awesome. So keep doing that. That's amazing. Now, when we're talking a little bit about even this community, again, you guys are going national. Let's do it. Right. That's awesome. When you think about Americus, how do you describe Americus to people that ask, like, hey, you're from, you work in Americus. What is Americus like? How do you describe Americus to people?
Well, it's home. It's home. It's my forever home. I was raised here. I've raised my children here. We've raised our business here, and our community has always been good to us. So for me, if I had to describe Americus, it's home.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
Yeah. We always go out, we go to conferences, we're in masterminds, and, you always feel like the small fish in the pond, right? Because we're, everyone's from, Chicago, all the metropolitan areas. And then everybody asks, well, where are you from?
That's right. And you say Americus, and they're like, America?
Right.
And you're like, no, Americus.
Where's that? Yes, we're a small town, but we're proud of it because it's made us who we are. And we just want to be able to show others from our community that, yes, you can. Yeah. It is possible.
Yeah.
No matter where you come from, it's possible.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things that's highly attracted me even to Americus. I mean, I feel called to Americus, and so I was coming no matter what. But one of the themes, I'm trying to understand, like, what makes Americus Americus, right? One of the things I think is very clear is this idea of hospitality, where fellowship is I'm with friends and we're going to have a great fellowship time together. Hospitality means strangers. I'm welcoming strangers. And so this idea of a village, this idea of taking care of people, and what you're doing is you're reproducing that in this day center. And that's what maybe some of these big corporations in large cities are missing, that is very difficult to replicate, because it's not just about the business, it's about the culture that you're talking about. So hospitality is part of Americus, and it's what you're reproducing over and over and over again through this. I think that's great. So what are some other things other than continuing to see seniors and being taken care of in Americus? What are some other things? You talk about having children, right? And you said triplets at 9 years old. Okay. All right. Growing up next, 5-10 years, what would you love to see in Americus or Sumter County that would get you excited about letting them know, like, this is a great place to grow up?
Well, two things. I got to go back to seniors.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because seniors are living longer and they're active. There's this state, because like the seniors we take care of in our adult day centers are not your active seniors. There are seniors who are at risk for nursing home.
Okay.
But there are so many active seniors coming our way. Like our parents are in their 70s and they're still working. Yeah. But it's nothing for them to do. I would love to see for our community to have things for active seniors to do, right?
Okay.
I think when you go into bigger cities, you may see some of those things. We don't, even like a YMCA, like a place for them to go, to gather, to connect, to talk, and do all those things. But I would love to see that in the future. That's one. Yeah. For our seniors.
Would that also require transportation, you would think, too? Or do you think that would be another element of that?
Transportation.
Places to go and ways to get there?
Definitely. Okay. Definitely.
Because I knew you provide transportation. So it's like we have a day center, but we also need to get them there, right?
Yes.
So the idea of,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So that's one. And then the second is for children. I've heard of, I go places and I hear about Jack and Jill. And I think somebody was telling me the other day that they're not sure if our Boys and Girls Club is still active. I was looking for a place for my girls to go this summer. I don't know. I think we can do a better job there. Having things for our youth to do. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. I know I know at the rec department, my son just turned 13 and he was able to play football for 2 years because we were here for 2 seasons. And man, he's just like, I already can't play, so I know they even have like age stops, like where, the rec department only goes so far because of volunteers and things like that. But yeah, I would love to see things like that, obviously. So Jessica, do you have anything to add to that?
I think for the young adults, right? We have we can have a vibrant town because we have Georgia Southwestern, we have South Georgia Tech. So we're inviting a lot of young people into our community, and we gotta stay relevant, right? We don't want them to just come to school and then go off, but we want them to stay and to plant here. And so we got to have something vibrant. I think we're on the right track. The first Fridays, I think we get an amphitheater. And so I think we are definitely moving in the right track, and doing a lot of things that get people out and give them seeing what America's Sumter County is about.
Yeah, I love that. And I've noticed even as a citizen, trying to participate in what the colleges are doing. So I get a chance to meet some of the students and say, oh, that's great. Oh, you know what? I know a business, or I know some people if you're going in here for this. And so, I think that the more and more we provide things even in downtown where students want to come. Some people are like, well, we've got, Toboggan Steve's. Like, yeah, but they got to be 21 to be able to go into the, right? And so what do you do for the 18, 19, 20-year-old that's just here that may stay for all 4 years? What can get them excited about coming down here? So I think those events, like you said, will be really great. So, all right. Well, we normally, as we kind of start landing the plane in the podcast, we do what was called rapid fire questions. So they're really, really short questions. Again, just get a chance to get to know you a little bit better. So I'll ask you a few of those. So number one, we talk about books. We talk about, different things. Do you have a favorite book or a favorite author that you're either enjoying right now, or that's just an all time? This has always been really good.
I make her read, by the way.
Right. Oh, yeah? I'm an audible.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
So, I'm into, I'm gonna go with the spiritual route. And so T.D. Jakes and Sarah Jakes Roberts, they are two authors that I read a lot, I listen to a lot, because, again, I'm a woman of faith. And so being able to keep myself edified and to be able to go and to be able to give and to serve, that helps me, that fuels me. And so, those are two authors that I listen to a lot.
Awesome.
Oh, me too?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
My favorite, what I'm reading right now, I just finished E-Myth, and I've read that 3 times, by the way. Okay. But it's just amazing how you can read something at different points in your business and see something different. Like, I read this book 3 times and I'm seeing new stuff. Like, where does stuff come from? But for us right now, it's important to have a business that can be duplicated. Like, it has to be the same here and in every location. And so I've been reading E-Myth, and that's been helping me with that. That's awesome.
I love it. All right. What about when you guys get a chance to relax, and if you get a chance to go on vacation, do you guys go to the beach or the mountains? What are the things that you enjoy on your time of rest? What places?
We're beach girls. We're in South Georgia, right? We love the sun. So the beach is definitely our thing. Travel is definitely our thing. Going, new experiences, kind of getting out of the Caribbean, trying to do some new things. So trying to expand our horizon, but definitely beach.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Is there any place that you would love to go, travel destination that you'd like to?
We have a couple of things on our list. Greece.
Oh, yeah.
Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
I think Africa's on our list. So we got a couple of places that are definitely on our list. I told her I want to go somewhere cold. She hasn't agreed with me yet. So
we'll go during the summer where it's just a little bit.
I want to go where it's a lot of snow, and I really want to experience it all, right?
Yes. Yes.
For me, I don't care where we go. I just love vacationing with my family.
Yeah.
And usually when we go, we're all in tow. My parents, all my kids, that's what makes my heart sing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love being able to do that too. In fact, I just went to a 10-day trip with my parents and my son. For his 13-year-old, we're kind of getting him in, taking him into manhood and said, hey, listen, you're from Minnesota. Let's go learn about your family, where you're from and what makes you a Schroeder. And so we kind of did that. And I just love being able to spend time with my parents and really enjoy that. So I think that's a really great family dynamic. That again is cultural. Like you're sharing that story with others and it feels like family. It doesn't feel just like, oh, nuts and bolts. This is what we're supposed to be doing. So that's awesome. All right. As far as, are you guys early birds or night owls? Like waking up early or staying up late?
Go to bed early.
Okay. Yeah.
And I have been waking up pretty early, about 5.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. I'm in the bed at 8 o'clock. I said, when those girls become teenagers, I'm going to need somebody to come wake me up.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Keep an eye out. I don't know.
But I go to bed early and I go to bed early and I get up early.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. All right. If you could be an expert in anything, what would it be?
Well, I think we are experts. We're senior care experts. So I don't know. Anything else?
Yeah, anything else. Like if you could just download it like the Matrix and be like, I would be an expert at that.
I want to be an expert, and I'm going to be an expert at this
Come on.
But is learning to enjoy the moment. Because I was just talking to Jessica about like we keep setting these goals and we want to, and once we meet this goal, we're only going to set another goal. Like we have got to learn to enjoy the moments, enjoy the journey. We got to take time out for self. So, and like you said, celebrate. Like we don't even take time out to celebrate. We'll keep pushing unless somebody say something. And so if I could be an expert at that,
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's wonderful.
I don't know. I want to pass.
All right, you're going to pass. All right. All right. Let's see. At what time of day do you get your best work done?
Definitely in the morning for me.
Yeah.
After 3, it goes down.
Okay. Awesome.
I agree.
Okay. you agree that's when she goes down, or you agree that that's you too?
That's when I go down too.
Okay.
Look, we get up early, we go to bed early. So listen.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have a favorite food or restaurant that you love?
Ooh, I love to eat.
Come on.
We're foodies. I don't know.
My sister is Gladys Kitchen. So if you haven't been, make sure you check them out.
Oh, yeah. Love it.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I like everything.
Okay.
I like pasta. I like seafood. I don't know.
That's right. Okay. Do y'all have a favorite holiday that you like to celebrate together as family?
We celebrate all holidays together. We do all things.
Okay.
So Thanksgiving, Christmas, 4th of July.
Yeah.
I don't know. All
you
things.
You love them all the same?
Like Christmas used to be my favorite till I had triplets. And now it's not so much fun. It's not so much fun.
It's pressure now.
Okay. Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for just joining us on the podcast.
Yes.
It's been just a joy for me to get a chance to get to know you, part of this community, getting to see and meet my neighbors here. Thank you so much for what you do in this community and what you're going to continue to do nationally. Let's keep seeing this. Let's keep replicating this idea where it's not just, hey, we're having a business for business, but we're actually trying to take care of people with the right motivations, with the right heart. And and continue to figure out, how do we celebrate that? How do we continue to see that grows? So thank you again so much for what you're doing. We hope for the best for you. And maybe we'll have you on in the next 2 or 3 years and kind of see how things are going.
Definitely.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're good.
All right.
Awesome. That was great.
That was
All right, 2 things.